Leslie Jordan lit up the screen with his unforgettable humor and boundless energy. James Earl Jones commanded every room, his resonant voice echoing through generations of cinema. Coolio's rhythmic flow turned hip-hop into a cultural anthem that still reverberates today. Michael Jackson redefined pop, his moonwalk and humanitarian spirit inspiring millions worldwide. Suzanne Summers broke TV norms, balancing sitcom fame with entrepreneurial savvy and health advocacy. Raquel Welch embodied daring glamour, turning action heroines into iconic symbols of strength. Olivia Newton-John blended music and film, her soaring voice echoing across the silver screen. Tony Bennett's timeless jazz croon proved that true artistry only deepens with age. Gene Hackman's razor-sharp performances set a benchmark for gritty, relentless character work. Richard Lewis turned neurotic comedy into an art form, delivering punchlines with raw honesty. Maggie Smith's regal poise and sharp wit have made her a timeless fixture on stage and screen. The night the Academy announced George Clooney as Best Supporting Actor for Syriana, the room shifted. The win wasn't just a trophy. It was a declaration that the charming leading man of television could command the gravitas of a political thriller. In that moment, critics and audiences alike were forced to re-evaluate the man who had spent a decade as Dr. Doug Ross on ER, asking what disciplined craft lay beneath the effortless smile. Clooney's journey to that Oscar was built on a foundation of relentless preparation. Born in 1961 in Lexington, Kentucky, he grew up in a family that lived on the fringe of the industry. His father, Nick Clooney, a respected journalist and former TV host, and his mother, Nina, a former beauty queen. The young George was exposed to the mechanics of media early, watching his father interview politicians and absorbing the cadence of public discourse. Rather than idolizing celebrity, he learned to observe the work behind the lens. His first forays into acting were far from glamorous. In the early 1980s, Clooney took on small, often uncredited parts in films like The Outsiders and Rumblefish, both directed by Francis Ford Coppola. He spent long days on set, watching seasoned actors dissect scenes, noting the precise beats between lines, the way a pause could carry more weight than dialogue. He later recalled in an interview with the New York Times that those early roles taught him the value of showing up, listening, and being ready when the director calls. The breakthrough came when he was cast as Dr. Doug Ross on the medical drama ER in 1994. While the role thrust him into the public eye, Clooney treated the fast-paced television schedule like a rehearsal room. He would rehearse patient interactions with the same intensity he would bring to a Shakespeare monologue, mastering medical jargon and improvising with co-stars to keep the performance fresh. The show's demanding production schedule forced him to develop stamina, 8-hour shooting days, nightly script revisions, and constant character work. He described the experience as a crash course in discipline, a period where he honed his ability to deliver under pressure. Even as ER vaulted him to household name status, Clooney was already plotting a transition to film. He sought roles that would stretch his range, choosing projects that demanded rigorous preparation. For the 1995 crime caper Out of Sight, he worked closely with director Steven Soderbergh, rehearsing scenes repeatedly to capture the effortless chemistry with co-star Jennifer Lopez. The pair's banter was not left to improvisation. They dissected each line, timing their delivery to mirror the rhythm of a classic heist film, while injecting contemporary swagger. Clooney's commitment to craft extended beyond acting. He began writing and producing, recognizing that control over a story's arc required more than just a performance. In 2004, he co-produced and co-wrote the political drama Good Night and Good Luck, a black-and-white homage to journalist Edward R. Murrow's fight against McCarthyism. The film's stark aesthetic demanded meticulous set design and a disciplined approach to dialogue, mirroring the era's tension. Clooney's involvement in the project underscored his belief that storytelling is as much about the behind-the-scenes labor as the on-screen moments. The Syriana award night crystallized a career built on disciplined rehearsal, strategic collaboration, and a willingness to shoulder risk. After the Oscar, Clooney leveraged his newfound credibility to champion causes that demanded the same rigor he applied to his craft. He co-founded Not on Our Watch with fellow actors and activists, raising awareness and funds for the Darfur crisis. In interviews, he emphasized that activism, like film, requires research, coordination, and a clear narrative elements he had mastered on set. Clooney's business ventures reveal another facet of his disciplined mindset. In 2013, he partnered with Rand Gerber to launch Casamigos Tequila, a brand built on meticulous tasting sessions, ingredient sourcing, and branding that emphasized authenticity over flash. The venture grew from a private label for friends to a global brand, eventually selling for $1 billion. Clooney has spoken about the venture's success as a product of the same work ethic that makes a good scene work: attention to detail, patience, and an eye for quality. Even as he continues to act, direct, and produce, Clooney remains a student of his own process. On the set of 2021's The Midnight Sky, he spent weeks in the Arctic to understand the isolation his character felt, consulting with scientists to accurately portray the technical aspects of a space-driven narrative. He rehearsed scenes with co-star Felicity Jones, dissecting each line to ensure the emotional beats resonated amid the film's bleak visual palette. Clooney's career is a testament to the unglamorous work that underpins public success. He treats each role as a craft, each interview as a rehearsal, and each business decision as a production. The legend that stands beside the icons of Leslie Jordan, James Earl Jones, and Michael Jackson is not a relic of fame, but a living practitioner, continually refining his art, leveraging his platform for advocacy, and reminding audiences that behind every charismatic smile lies disciplined preparation. As the camera rolls on his latest projects, the pattern remains clear: a deliberate choice, a rigorous rehearsal, and a willingness to step beyond comfort zones. Whether he is negotiating a deal, directing a scene, or speaking out on humanitarian crises, George Clooney embodies the principle that true mastery is built one disciplined day at a time. The story is still being written, and the next chapter will likely begin with the same relentless curiosity that first drove a young Kentucky boy onto a soundstage, ready to learn the work behind the legend.